Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to Special Edition Show and Tell. This one is all the folks from Adafruit, people from the community, people from companies like Digi-Key, folks that just coming by to visit, and also it's a CircuitPython theme because today 9/9 is CircuitPython Day. Yay! So another year we do CircuitPython Day every year. Before we get started, I did want to mention something. So for this year, I'm going to put up the little banner real quick. We are dedicating. How do I get this to go forward? Oh, I wonder if I think I have to back me out. Let me see. Then does my audio go? Huh. Anyways, we're dedicating to Lambda Labs. And they recently, there was a big explosion in Beirut. They have a couple fundraisers they're doing. They were literally on the scene within a few minutes, hours. So in addition to them being part of our CircuitPython community, there's lots of things out there. And they have a fundraiser. So check it out. That is this year. Okay. All right, let's first start off with Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin. How's it going?
Hey, guys. It's Kevin from Digi-Key. I love the background. That's great. It's great to see what you guys are doing in Lebanon.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, happy CircuitPython Day.
Yeah.
I hope everybody had as good of a time as I did today. It took kind of the afternoon, and I went through my drawers, and I wanted to see how many boards I had at my desk that were CircuitPython. And I found a total of...
Dun, dun, dun.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12.
That's pretty good.
Yep, and we all love CircuitPython. We at Digi-Key are very happy with it. We like to use it a lot. I have my large clue, which is running a lot of CircuitPython, running over 1,000 NeoPixels off of CircuitPython. And the Discord community, if you need help with CircuitPython, that's the only place to go.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone on there is just incredible, and they respond within seconds. So my hat goes off to them. They're a great team. And we do have a Python page on maker.io, which is a Digi-Key site. So I encourage everybody, if you get a chance, go through and check it out. We have CircuitPython, a lot of the different boards that Digi-Key sells from Adafruit, which we sell all of your boards. So we have kind of a breakdown about what CircuitPython is and different projects and blogs and guides. And this is pretty much all Adafruit content and some of our own content. So anybody that wants to know a little bit more on CircuitPython, besides going to CircuitPython, your page, I think it's CircuitPython.org, definitely check out this page. It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Right on. And please send our regards to everyone at Digi-Key. Digi-Key was one of the first companies to catch the wave of Python on hardware and scripting languages, microcontrollers. And I think that's one of the things that when you pick a company to get electronics from, which one are the ones that are looking for the high performance chips, low cost, also able to have them work. So code and examples. And I think you can go to digi-key.com/Python and it takes you right to this section.
Yes, it does. It goes right to this page.
And so that's a big deal. Try that on all your favorite, or maybe not favorite, electronic supply sites and see which ones have a dedicated section that has Python-related resources. If you look around the world, the #1 programming language is being taught and used and everything. Machine learning and data science has helped push that up. And that also means whatever you learn in Python now applies to hardware too.
That's right.
So
yeah, you know,
off to you too, Digi-Key.
And the beauty of these boards, which a lot of people on this show and tell know, is you can take some of these boards and start at every age level. I mean, you can work from make code all the way up through Arduino and CircuitPython on the same board.
Yeah.
It's really cool how you can stretch the whole gamut of STEM and EDU.
Yeah, I think also, like, you know, we've talked to big companies that do IoT, and they, you know, like, to quote them, they say, you know, every year we're like, IoT is going to like reach the masses, and every year they're like, it's just too hard. So I think CircuitPython is going to be part of that.
Yeah, and just every day there's something new that just blows my mind about what you can do in CircuitPython. Like, literally programming this over 1,000 NeoPixels is just a couple of lines of code. it's just it's unbelievable, the libraries and the stuff that your team and other people in the CircuitPython area has done. So thank you, and thank you everybody. And as Digi-Key, we love carrying your parts, and we love CircuitPython.
Yes. Welcome to CircuitPython Day.
All right. Thank you so much, Kevin, for being part of another year of CircuitPython together. Happy CircuitPython Day.
Happy CircuitPython Day. Take care, everybody.
All right. Next up from Adafruit, Trevor.
Hey,
Trevor. How's it going?
Up? Pretty good, pretty good. I'm here to show off some stuff, a couple of things. Maybe one thing that's on CircuitPython unrelated.
Yeah.
So right now, I worked on this app last week. It is can you this? Awesome. All right. So basically, what it is, it's sorry. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Anyway, so yeah, so I made this app that displays a sine wave. I'm sorry, it's a sine sound wave, and right here I'm able to manipulate it. See?
That's cool. So you just adjusted that way.
Yeah, so I did that. And I also made this CircuitPython countdown watch. So it'll count down the days until CircuitPython Day. And also next year. Yeah, that's right. And also we have these Adafruit stickers.
That's right.
We have Blinka doing a whole bunch of different other stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so on the Apple App Store, you can search for Adafruit stickers, and you can get all your favorite CircuitPython Blinky characters and more.
Oh yeah, we have plenty. So yeah, that's why I came on here to share.
All right.
Nice, sweet.
Thank you so much, Trev. Happy CircuitPython Day.
You too.
Okay. All right, next up, we're just going to go through the line down here and go to our team members that are here tonight, and then we have some folks from the community. So let's go to Noe and Pedro. Pedro, what you got going on this week?
Hello. Hey, guys. Happy CircuitPython Day. Gotta represent, have my CircuitPython shirt on.
Nice.
Yeah, so earlier in the stream with Dan, he had a really cool one on just setting up a project in CircuitPython. We were talking about, oh man, remember we were sitting at Maker Faire a couple years ago. We were in line for State of Arduino. We were with Scott there, and he was explaining to us what CircuitPython was. He was, USB and it loading like a file drive on your desktop. And as we were talking about that, Massimo walks by and we're like, hey, Massimo. He's like, ignores us. And we're like, all right, see ya. So just funny to, recap that and be like, oh, look where CircuitPython is at now, and like all the abilities it has. So this week, of course, it's a CircuitPython based thing. So a bunch of Stemma boards that we have. We're celebrating like over 50 now. And Lamar had a good idea of coming up with a really cool Lego connector set. We came out with a bunch of like feather ones. So you have like different tubes and studs. You can hook these up to different Lego base plates. So she was like, oh, why don't you make a bunch of the different size ones that we have for all the different boards? So we have every single size ones that we have, even a couple of component ones that aren't the Stemma boards, like the batteries and like the switches and a bunch of other like components that can like help make a project. And yeah, Lego's becoming like a universal standard for like connecting. I saw the announcement with the IKEA, and then they released like some teasers. They're like partnering up with like Levi's and like Adidas. So they're doing a lot of like wearables now too. So definitely be compatible and ready to go on it if you want to have like wearable like Stemma board and feather board projects. So that's what we came up with today. Bunch of editable files. So they're all in Fusion. You can like look through all of the timeline on how we designed everything. And you can like, if you wanted to have like different studs or different shapes for it, you can edit all that to your heart's content.
Nice.
All right, this is cool. For a few reasons, there's so many feather wings. It's hard to keep track of the number. It's in the hundreds. It'll eventually be thousands.
Yeah.
Feathers, that's also a pretty high number. 150 CircuitPython compatible boards, 50 from Blinka. So if you look at, I used to measure time, kind of like you're mentioning Maker Faire, and like how many Maker Fairs ago or how many X months ago. But now we have a couple CircuitPython days under our belt. So this will be interesting to see where we end up next year and all the different things. And theme that we've been really focusing on lately too is not only how easy it could be with the software, but how easy can it be with the hardware? So that's where there's a lot of Stemma stuff now.
It's trying to apply the same simplicity of CircuitPython for devices. So I think we're getting there. We're getting to, everything we wanted to get to.
What if code was a cable? Code plus cable.
That's a good tagline. And then I don't know if you wanted to show like a sneak peek of another CircuitPython project that we're working on.
Yeah, sure.
Got some.
Yeah, this is going to be a collab project with Erin St. Blaine. She wanted to make a pair of animatronic wings. So we have 2 servos here, and it's connected to the Adafruit servo feather wing. And it's just running the Feather M4. So we have CircuitPython running it, and I'm using ServoKit library. So really, really simple. It's like 3 lines of code to get 2 servos to kind of go up and down just to test out the mechanism here. So we'll have, if you want to bring those wings up, we are kind of working on constructing the wings. We're like cutting it out of this Bristol board using our Cree-cut vinyl cutter. So we'll have these mounted to these little pieces here. I think I have it backwards actually, but it's fine. And then we have just a battery here. And we're actually using the 5-volt mini boost so that we can power both of the servos and everything off of this 2200 milliamp battery. So we're going to make some more fluttering goodness.
I think the frame rate will actually play good.
Into the future, not only will people be able to, change their costume or whatever within a line of code, but whatever we're doing now with CircuitPython that's on a standalone device, it'll also be Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or both down the road too.
Yeah, and here's a quick preview of what that looks like put together.
Yeah, I'm trying to sort out the backpack.
Yeah, the way that it's fluttering.
Flutters, yeah.
Turn the thing on.
So we'll try to have that in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, great.
So
coming up soon.
This is audition footage for like X-Men 5. Okay.
Thank you, Gets Wings. All right.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Next up, Kattni. Hello. Kattni. I took your Code Plus community and we're changing it to Code Plus Cable.
That makes me sad.
Code Plus Cable equals StemmaQT.
That makes more sense.
No, we already made the banners. We're not going to change them. It's still Code Plus community. It's Code Plus community.
I got the tattoo.
It's going to stay the same.
All right. So what I have today is a NeoPixel ring.
Ooh.
It's the 60 LED ring that comes in 4 pieces.
Yeah.
You have to solder it together. And what we did was we made a 3D printed case for it, sort of a diffuser. I made it super bright so it would heat it up as much as possible because this is actually color changing based on heat filament. So you can see where it's heated up, where the LEDs are because LEDs are super hot.
Yeah.
And this is going to be blinding at this point without the diffuser. But what we did was we made it so that the soldering points have holes available so that you can allow the wires to go through. And it sits flat in the base, so it's easy to put in there. We actually soldered it while it was in the case upside down.
Yeah.
Because it held the pieces exactly together, which was super handy. But yeah, we wanted to design a diffuser for the big ring, and that was what we went with. We still need to make it so that it press fits a little better. It's super easy to pop it out of the case right now, which we kind of want to avoid. We want it to be able to just sort of snap on and stick to it. And the code this is running is CircuitPython, as was expected. And it's running the LED animation library, but we added, normally if you set one of the comets in a circle, so say on a Circuit Playground, Blue Fruit, or Express, it'll go around and then it'll disappear at the end point, and then it'll reappear at the beginning. As you can see, once the full rainbow finishes, this is just the rainbow wheel. The comet goes all the way around and stays going. So it's actually a ring mode, if you will, so that we don't lose our comets, because sometimes that's the effect you want, is you want it to disappear and reappear, but other times you want it to go all the way around.
No, it's nice. It's a beautiful effect.
So that is what I have to show today.
All right. Nice work, Kattni.
All right, good work, Kattni. And congratulations on another year of CircuitPython. Happy CircuitPython Day.
Happy CircuitPython Day. Thank you.
All right. Next up, let's go to Jepler. Hello, Jepler. What you got going on this week?
Hello. Well, this is, I think, the first CircuitPython Day that I'm actually part of the team. So that's really exciting, and thank you. But this is a little calculator that I've been working on for about a month now. It has the Sharp display that was recently added in the store, and a little hand-designed matrix, and a bunch of wiring, which is part of the aesthetic. But now I'm going to show you something that is so awesome that you are not even going to recognize that something magical is happening here. So
I need this.
Yeah. So watch this. We're going to enter 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and 0.4, and we're going to add them all together.
Okay.
Plus. Okay.
And then we're going to take 1, and we're going to subtract it out, and we get 0.
Wow.
Now that's amazing.
Wow.
Because
that's like usually it's 0.000001.
Exactly. So if we drop into regular CircuitPython, we get exactly that. We get 0.1 plus 0.2 plus 0.3 plus 0.4 minus 1 is 2 times 10 to the negative 7th power, because computers normally operate with binary arithmetic. But what I've implemented here in my calculator pardon me, it's the demo bug. By adapting the library for decimal arithmetic from regular CircuitPython is a lot more precision, and the fact that everything is actually carried out in decimal. So like if you take 1/3, you get this nice long number. So I think this is like 14 digits, whereas CircuitPython is usually doing about 7 digits, but it's also purely in decimal. So then if you take 2/3 and add them together, again, you get exactly 1. So I'm working on getting this out as probably a community bundle item. And this isn't mostly my work. My work was just adapting it to CircuitPython, making it fit within the code space, making it fit with some limitations of the available, language constructs. But it's been a part of CircuitPython, or a part of Desktop Python, for a very long time. Decimal arithmetic with arbitrary precision. It takes a lot of memory. You lose about 50K of RAM just by importing it. But for a calculator project, it is really cool.
All right, nice work, Jeff.
Thank you.
All right, very cool. Happy CircuitPython Day.
Yeah, may there be many more.
Yep. Okay, next up, we're going to go to Melissa. Hello, Melissa. How are you? What you got going on this week?
I have been working on a little library here, and it is takes the NeoPixels and creates a frame buffer with them. I'm going to go ahead and change cameras here. Let's see. That should work. Okay. And I have it showing the, I have it doing a little scrolling demo that I put in here. And it's basically just drawing them out, or drawing into the frame buffer, and then drawing it out to the NeoPixels and doing it like really rapidly. So it's like drawing the whole thing every single time, and it's still going pretty quickly.
Nice.
Let's go.
This is going to be great for all sorts of like cool LED screen projects like Kattni's Wall.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Yeah.
And have a happy CircuitPython Day.
Thank you.
And
all right.
CircuitPython Day.
Next up, Scott. Hello, Scott.
Wait, where's your sunglasses?
Yeah. I thought you might have seen that. I just got a new pair.
They look pretty cool.
I was trying them on, and I can't see. I have the camera. I was tilting my head because they're polarized.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally unrelated.
All right, look sharp. It's because CircuitPython is so cool, you need shades.
I've been streaming a lot today, and I do have the front light, so I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. And it's hot in here, too. Anyway, totally distracted. I'm like not getting
happy CircuitPython Day. Happy. Your Blink-A kid is a monster.
It's great. right? It's just been over 4 years, and it's been so awesome to both see the code and the community grow so much. I was just thinking that in our release notes, we really need a section for all the different ports and what the status of them are. And I was thinking about how we didn't used to need that, right? Like we had one port, and the version number and the stability was just for that one port. And we're growing and maturing, and it's super exciting. And
Okay, what are you?
This is show and tell, though.
Yeah.
This is not actually related to CircuitPython, kind of. It's more stemma related, actually.
Oh yeah.
Although it's not stemmas on each side. I thought about doing that, and I didn't want to have to route I2C across. What I'm playing around with is I2C FPGA stuff. So I do have a CircuitPython library that allows you to load to the mock XOs from CircuitPython. But they're cool chips because they're like native loader does I2C. So I've been playing around with a kind of stemma. It's not a stemma form factor, but it is stemma-compatible, where you would be able to breadboard it, and then you would get 8 pins on each side for the FPGA. So that's what we have here. You can see that I have the discrete logic level shifting stuff. And then this is power, 5 volts potentially down to 3. And then this is the FPGA here, which is the same one that was used by Tiny FPGA on the AX series, the Mox XO2s. And then this connector here is the debug edge that Mark and Nitz and I have been prototyping. The idea being that it's zero cost to put on a board in a board design. But if you need access to like SWD or JTAG, this is how you can get access to it. So yeah, I haven't laid it fully out. I was trying to decide about all the decoupling caps that I needed. So I'm playing around with that. But the goal would be that you can have basically an I2C device that does whatever you need. So ideally you would have a CircuitPython library that for a specific use of this chip, that you would be able to just install on CircuitPython. It would load it onto the FPGA, and then you just use it like any other I2C device, any other stemma device. But you could actually distribute the different things that you could do with it. So that's my current hardware project. I'm looking forward to using it also for like all the old electronics that I've got, where like they have very potentially wide data buses and things, and FPGAs are really great for those cases. So this is my first foray into, this is true multiprocessing, right? Like, or concurrency, is that you have another chip that's doing the thing that you need it to do. So I'm pretty excited about this. I think it's going to be pretty neat and low cost way to get into FPGAs.
All right. Nice.
All right. And then before we go, so we'll see you at 8 p.m. tonight.
Yes.
For special edition Ask an Engineer. It'll be in this format, similar where we have a lot of the team members. But this is your poster. We have a few of these for the team. So this is hot off the press, literally. So this is the CircuitPython 6 poster.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw the post that Dan did for Alpha 3, and he had that banner, and I was like, that looks really nice.
Yeah, one of the things
looks really cool
with CircuitPython is, you remember back in the day there was like box art, like every version of Mac OS or Windows had this like cool illustration. So we want to have a theme for each one. So this one, if you look really close,
Claris.
Well, if you look really close, there's a little battery and there's a clock, and we have little hidden things here in cloud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember when we first got the image was like really big in the email, so none of us me and somebody else were like, where's the 6?
Yeah.
We don't understand where the 6 is. And then you were like, well, if you shrink it down, you can clearly see it. And it was like,
zoom out. Otherwise it's done it. And it's kind of like the sky that we see on the news right now too. So it's a little.
Yeah, that's why it's so hot in here, is I have the window closed. It's not orange like it is in California and Oregon, but it is smoky enough that they warn you to like not go out and exercise, because we have wildfire smoke as well here.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, Scott.
We'll
I'm excited.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm excited for our conversation tonight. As I was saying on my deep dive, I don't actually know what we're going to talk about, so I'm pretty excited.
That's right. Well, I'll probably ask questions.
Phil is an excellent journalist.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but I'll probably ask some questions about CircuitPython. Mostly, a lot of people always want to know what's ahead or what things that we want to do. Sometimes some decisions we make, and a lot of it is just like, how often do you get to just hear a core team who's working on something that obviously, if you just look at the trajectory, eventually millions of people are going to be using this. It seems to be a fact. So you get an early view of like a lot of what's going on and where we came from with this.
I did mention the idea of a modern day C64 to people on the stream earlier, and I got a lot of people chiming in. I think I hit a chord with them. So maybe we'll work towards that foundation.
Okay. All right. We'll save that up. We're going to see you in just a few minutes.
Okay.
It's easier.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Next up, JP. How's it going, JP?
Hey, it's going well. I was just here pulling down some Halloween stuff off of the shelf, including my little friend, the fish here that we made last year, using our monster mask eyes in there. And the reason is because I feel like in my bones, I feel like Halloween is coming soon. It feels like it's a month off or something, but I'm actually terrible at that. Everything feels like it's roughly a month off.
How will you know when it is?
To solve this with some greater accuracy, I've got a project that I'm working on, which is going to show us the countdown to Halloween. So it's actually, I think, 53 days and 32 minutes if you count Halloween as starting at 5 p.m., which was what Melissa came up with. This is some code that Melissa made. I created these graphics, and we've got the time coming from the internet from Adafruit.io, so it's accurate. And look at the spooky ghost. And that's going to keep me on track for Halloween. So now I know 53 hours and a few minutes, and we're almost there.
Countdown.
So that's going to be on my live stream tomorrow. I'll be going over some of the details of that. And that's all CircuitPython, which I thought would be appropriate to mention. This being CircuitPython Day, I decided not to write it on a PIC processor or something. And then another project actually that I'll show briefly. This was something I showed on my new product pick of the week show on Tuesday, is this cute little Stemma-QT screen that we have here, a little OLED. And I decided to Lego it up with some of those Ruiz Brothers mounts. And I built some little mounts for these potentiometers so I could do some fun sliding around of those graphics there. And some buttons that allow me to change the thing that it's showing to the pressure sensor, barometric sensor there, a little stemma, and I can also change the scale. But mostly I'm excited about the Legos because that's a lot of fun to construct.
Yeah, to make a little control case. Otherwise, it's hanging all over your desk.
Yeah, it would be this umbilical thing of stemma stuff. So this is, I think, a really cool thing to consider adding to your stemma boards, is some of these Lego parts that the Ruiz Brothers have posted that you can 3D print. So those are a couple of my CircuitPython-y things going on today.
Nice.
All right. Okay, well, excellent work, and happy CircuitPython Day. Thank you, JP, for... I think if folks look at your shows, you can see how we had to spend a lot of time in the past when we did a project on getting people up to speed with like our C++ C code with Arduino.
Oh, soldering. There's a lot of soldering.
Yeah, and now I think there's just speaking of Lego, it's very more, it's more Lego-like. Like the code is just as easy to block together in some ways as the hardware, especially when you don't have to solder. So you can get started really fast. You can do that Lego project that you did, and then you can go all the way down like component level, put on a permanent proto. But it's neat because a lot of your projects, you seem to be able to get further faster now.
Yeah, I
agree. This stuff, you're not like, okay, let's download this thing. Like,
yeah, it's true. And I think even just the concept of doing multiple things at once and returning to things, the fact that I can pick something up and read the code right off the board in a text editor, actually, it has a bigger impact than you might think versus trying to discover what Arduino code I have somewhere that compiles onto a board. Now it's not as much of a mystery when I pick up a few different projects that are in progress. I kind of immediately know what's happening with them, which is
you can
nice
pop them into a computer and it shows up as USB drive, and then like
helpful. Yep.
Yeah. For the educators out there, we do weekly live shows to a bunch of people. It's pretty much like that for educators. You're doing a daily show for a bunch of kids. And so you have to be able to quickly put these things together. I think that's why we're seeing a lot of educators who've already moved to Python for other reasons, but now hardware is part of that. So
yeah, it's true. You know, I've taught hardware seminars before using Arduino. I've never had a chance to do one in CircuitPython, but there was so much setup time wasted at the beginning of like a 2-hour, 3-hour session of just trying to get people to compile their projects and sort of editing and debugging code that I'm kind of curious to go back and revisit some of those projects nowadays with CircuitPython.
Yeah.
Like you might jump into the meat of it a little quicker, which would be nice.
I think with remote learning too, you don't know what setup people are going to have, but you can always assume that there is a way to edit text.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that no matter what operating system, usually things can be operational over USB and a text editor.
Well, I'll tell you what, and this might be not the best way to do things, but right before I started here, this ghost here, that ghost actually chews up a bunch of current because it's a lot of white pixels, and I wanted to use a lower power supply, and so I literally opened that BMP file into Photoshop directly from my Metro CircuitPython device, dumped the levels down on the white, hit save, and was like, yeah, that's good. And then I kind of put it somewhere else for safekeeping. But it's not just text. Like if you're using sound files and image files, you can actually, you know, treat these things like a little thumb drive and go in and edit them directly, which it's, again, it's really hard to imagine doing that where you were compiling header files and stuff using conversion software. The direct access of it is so nice for iterating, for, you know, especially for creative iteration. I think that I can go and tweak stuff and get almost immediate results. I love it, and I definitely feel like it's contributed to an improvement in the quality of what I do and the speed with which I can do it.
Yeah, more projects.
More projects.
Cool.
Very nice.
Thank you so much, JP, and happy CircuitPython Day.
Awesome. Python Day.
Okay, Liz.
All right, Liz, how are you doing? Happy CircuitPython Day. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Happy CircuitPython Day. So I'm going to share my screen. So I have a CircuitPython project here. So I think we all get by with a little help from our friends. And so with my robot friends that I've been having built up with the music stuff, I wanted to create this like kind of melody generator so that I could have the synths play on their own without me necessarily having to press keys. So if I press this switch here, you can hear the synth going behind me. So this is, you can see on this Stemma display here, showing BPM, the key that's playing in, and then the mode, and on the beat. So I can go into different modes, do some major triads, minor triads, fifths, sound a little Bach, and then random, which just plays all different notes in the key. And you can also go to any of the keys you want. A sharp or B flat is nice. But then you can also go to 8th notes, 16th notes, or random on that too. And you can also just BPM. So yeah, little thing. All in CircuitPython. Just using some pots and mapping the values. And yeah. And Blinka slithers along to the beat, depending on what's happening.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that animation.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's what I've been working on.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Liz, and thanks for being with us another CircuitPython Day and all your projects with CircuitPython. One of the things that we'll probably talk about in our 8 p.m. later is, why is it fun to do some types of programming? Python, lots of reasons, lots of science, lots of engineering, lots of like machine learning. But with CircuitPython, you kind of get in the art side of programming, like whether you like it or not, which is really good. So you're
not messing with like the details. You just get straight to the creative thing you want to do. Yeah,
like light and sound, you get going really fast from storing the media itself to being able to do things like what Liz did. So thank you, Liz, for really showcasing a lot of times we see kids that when they're learning to program, they end up just looking at a terminal, and like it's okay, but like you can only hold on to that for so long. You're competing with so many other more interesting things that aren't a terminal. But you can use a terminal for all this stuff. So it's neat that you've been able to combine. Like last week is Party Parrot. This year is or this week is a musical scale.
Yeah, and for me, I learn really hands-on. So when I tried to do coding before, it always just went totally over my head just because it felt too abstract. So being able to like code something and then I turn the pot and it does what I've put into the code, like it just really it meshes well with my brain. And CircuitPython has just made that so much easier, especially like MIDI stuff. Like think back how it used to be to try and get that up and running. Like it's just super awesome. So thank you and all you're doing and the hardware. Like it's a true pleasure to play with.
Yay.
Okay, right on. Well, we'll see you later. And once again, have a happy CircuitPython Day.
Happy
CircuitPython Day. Bye.
All right, we're going to bounce around a little bit. We're going to go over to Collin.
Hey, Collin. Speaking of musical stylings.
How's it going, right? Yeah, well, a little bit on that end, more on the code end of that thing, which is all part of the equation, as you so eloquently proposed there. This guy, I was just posting code on the GitHubs for this little naked step sequencer thing that I put up, that I shared here a couple of weeks ago. And posting that CircuitPython code, and I wanted to say, happy CircuitPython Day to you. Because this was really quick and really easy. And yeah, I know, I'm saying what was just said, but it's true. And I threw it together in I think it was under 2 hours. I wrote this code for something that was unfinished in the past that I dug up, and it gave my mind closure. So it's all about the internal. It's all about emotions.
Closure today.
Back. So yeah, so I posted this up it's on my GitHub Colin Cunningham right now if you need it, if that's handy. And yeah, thank you, and a happy day. Happy Snake Day.
Happy Snake
All right,
Day.
thank you so much, Collin. Happy CircuitPython Day.
Thank you, Collin.
All right, next
Good
up.
closure there.
Yeah, next up we're going to go to Seth, and then I'll help get folks ready. So we're going to go to Seth, then Brown Dog Gadgets, and Mark, and Duke. So hello, Seth. Happy CircuitPython Day.
Hey, everybody. So today I made a big announcement, and it actually got retweeted by the Adafruit Twitter, which is actually pretty cool.
Yay.
So last week I had mentioned that I was finally launching my own little hobby electronics company because I was inspired by everything you guys say. If you guys can do it in New York, woman-owned majority without loans, without VC.
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
so,
this is really hard. If we can do it, you can do it.
So I took the first step last week, and I launched this little module here. It's really simple. It's just a digitally controllable load switch. So people, if they have, I think it's up to 6 volts, they can quickly add low power capabilities to their project. And I wrote a little tutorial in Arduino and CircuitPython, and I was like, okay, well the momentum's going. So today I announced that I'm going to be bringing a CircuitPython compatible SAMD21 board, which I know is a big favorite because it's so easy to get going onto it. So they're little sapling boards, and I'm going to share. I've got a little 3D rendering of it. Let me see if it'll pull up for me. Yeah. I've still got to add a few parts to it, but so it's just a cute little board.
Cute.
It's going to have I2C and SPI, and I was even thinking I was going to add a Stemma connector on it because it's just such an easy way to go on it. And so my company is called Oak Development Technology. So I'm starting with my line of microcontrollers, like the little ones with 12 pins or less, called saplings. So this one's the CPU sapling. So it'll be CircuitPython compatible since it's got that CMD21 board on it. And I'm hoping to have that by late October to have them start up for sale.
Yay.
And then the last time I was here, I talked about an FPGA board, an ICE 40 Ultra board that was on a Feather. And so I'd actually been talking to Scott because he has his library for programming FPGAs, and his does I2C, but just a little bit more work to get it to do over SPI. So hopefully once I get that the new boards in with the fixed power supply issues, then I'll be able to work with Scott to get the SPI programming part of it set up so people can have even more ways to use FPGAs and have a little system on a feather.
Great.
So.
Well,
All right.
congratulations.
Congrats, Seth. I like the brand architecture. You have oak and you have saplings. You got a bunch that you can do with that.
Oh yeah, and these ones are, I'm calling them acorns because they're tiny little breakouts, and it's such a cute little name to go for it.
Squirrels. There's a whole bunch of things that you're going to be able to do. And one of the things that we don't talk about that often in the CircuitPython world, because you just kind of see it and you think it's known, is we built all this so people can run businesses. You can make something compatible. You don't have to talk to us, but there's a community. You can, and there's all sorts of benefits with that. But there's open standards. It's based on something that is open source. You can get spun up really fast with a VID, PID, all sorts of things that you can do right away. And then when you're ready, you can get it added to CircuitPython.
Yeah, we'll create the downloads. You don't have to worry about version management. We'll do that for you. It's all.
Yeah. And one thing that Arturo, who's just started Solder Party, mentioned when he launched his company is every time there's a CircuitPython update, all the firmware is already built. So everyone gets those features in an existing hardware product. So you can keep designing hardware, not necessarily have to worry about managing up to a few thousand firmware builds because there's multiple languages too.
Yeah. And, because you guys have already made a bunch of the boards based off the SAMD21, that's just going to be really easy for people to get up and going too, which I think is just going to make it even easier for people to get in on CircuitPython. So.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Seth.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Happy CircuitPython Day.
Happy CircuitPython Day.
All right. Next up, we're going to go to Brown Dog Gadgets, and then we're going to go to Mark and then Duke. Hello, Brown Dog Gadgets. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
Good.
Great. Happy CircuitPython Day.
Happy CircuitPython Day to you. We put together a fun project today to show off because we're all stuck inside, so we thought we'd bring a little bit of inside or outside inside. There we go. We made an automatic bubble blower using one of the clues you guys were so nice to send us. And we press a little button, and it blows bubbles. And actually, we have a little video to show it in even better detail. So there we go.
Okay.
So here's it actually blowing bubbles. Now we're using a microbit on this one, but we redid the project to use the clue because we're working on a fun breakout board that connects Lego to microbit or the clue. And it's so nice that the clue is compatible with all the microbit stuff. So thanks, Pete.
Yeah.
Pete's here with me. Pete's Pete's also messing around the computer next door.
I write CircuitPython.
He does. He actually wrote the code for this, but it's a fun little guy. So we have a built-in.
Happy CircuitPython Day.
We have a little relay on this board here, which we're using to power this wonderful motor, and we fill this up with bubble liquid and a nice little Lego-compatible servo here. Since everyone else is doing Lego today, it seems such a great building format. But yeah, we have the fun little board here for Circuit. Adafruit Clue or the microbit that just pops onto Lego when we connect things together, and yeah, it just seems like a fun thing to fill your time when stuck inside. And Pete was nice enough today to write up a nice bit of documentation for this project as well, with code and a nice diagram of how everything hooks together. If anybody wants to make their own version. And this board here that we're going to release very shortly is 100% open source. If anybody wants to make their own or make a remix of this, we're going to pop this up on GitHub very shortly. But yeah, one of the fun things we're working on.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and have
a wonderful CircuitPython Day.
A wonderful CircuitPython Day, and let us know as you develop more of these projects, especially, of course, if it has a clue. But even if it doesn't, let us know, and we'll get it up on the blog.
Cool beans. We'll let you know. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Okay, next up.
Mark
Skull.
Hey, Dad. How's it going?
Hi. I hope you guys can actually hear me in this.
Yeah, I got to speak up a little bit more. It's a little
okay.
muted.
Yeah. So I just decided CircuitPython Day, I'd take an old project, and I made this mask about 3 years ago for Halloween, which we're coming to, and thought I'd take technologies I've never used and see how quickly I can come up with something useful. So I'd never used any of the Bluetooth low energy, and I had never used any of the MP3 player playing capabilities. So I thought, can I add in an afternoon the ability for the costume to actually speak like the character? So I took Blue Fruit Express and NRF with it on it, and I will see if now pressing the button on here.
I am unstoppable.
Oh my God.
All right, that worked.
And yeah, it took me 2 to 3 hours. I'd never used the low energy Bluetooth before. Never played any audio. And the only reason it's not actually in the mask is I didn't actually have an audio amplifier, so I just hooked it into the computer for now.
All right.
But, yeah,
that's great.
It's so easy to use. And
Excellent work,
yeah.
Mark. I think that's what I was talking about before. There's a lot of projects that you wouldn't attempt in the past because it's like, oh yeah, Bluetooth low energy and playing music. Well, that's a product line and it's a Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's really hard.
And it's going to be 6 to 8 months. And which Bluetooth chip?
And you're like managing DMA channels and like IRQs.
Let me go download this SDK that I need to sign an NDA for, all that stuff. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mark, and happy CircuitPython Day. Thanks for continuing to show really cool projects at Show and Tell.
Yes, too.
All right, you're set for Halloween this year. You know what you're going at.
And it's got a built-in mask, so.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
All right, stay safe.
Care. All right, next up is
Duke.
Hello, Duke. How are you?
Pretty good, yourself?
Good. What you got going on this week?
So I got two things. First off, good old Adafruit app. I actually took a couple of pieces out of some old computers and built a Bluetooth controlled fan. Originally, I was trying to set this up as a solder fumes, which it will end up being as well. I have a few of these that I scrapped out of a bunch of computers. But since it's been a warm summer, it's been cooling me at my desk.
Nice.
So I also have been working on a little bracket to go around it. I call it my trash fan because it's literally made of everything out of the trash, except for the NRF 52840 on it. And then one other thing that I had is that I've actually been working with one of my passions is playing with remote control cars. Well, so normally this would be a radio that I use for racing RC cars, and it only supports 4 channels. Well, this vehicle that I'm building has front and rear locking differentials, 2-speed transmission, and then you have to be able to steer it as well as control the throttle, which happens to be more than 4 channels. So what I did is I took Itsy Bitsy with the NRF chip on it, and I programmed it to take in the PWM signal from the 4th channel and then split it off to the 2 servos. And then the radio actually is split into 5 positions, and so depending on which of those 5 positions that the radio is set in, it will change the servos. Let me see if it still works. So yeah, so on this button here, pushing up and down changes from which position.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, and both of those are in CircuitPython.
Yay.
Wow. Yeah, we have like air, water, land, sea,
mask,
ocean,
car.
And thank you, Maker Melissa, for the help with the PWM stuff. It's really kind of interesting. There's a lot of stuff for sending PWM signals, but not a lot for interpreting them.
Yeah, it's a rare thing. Usually microcontrollers don't read in PWM. It's a rare it's just not something that's often done, and so you don't see a lot of support for it.
Yeah.
All right, well, you did a great job. Nice work, dude.
All right, thank you so much, Duke.
Thank you.
And happy CircuitPython Day, and happy hacking and driving with this significant upgrade that you're able to do with your RC truck.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
And Collin, do you want to play us out for CircuitPython Day? I saw you hanging out down there. I assume you might want to.
Muted.
You're muted, but you could potentially play us out with the song. This is Collin Charades. I think I surprised him. So you're still on mute, Collin. You might not know that.
Right, there might be a reason for that. But if you consider this music, unfortunately, my DAW has a mind of its own right now. But
yeah.
You don't hear anything.
You can get down with that sort of drone vibe, then I give you that.
Good enough.
It's the Dune trailer soundtrack.
Oh, Blade Runner. That works. All right, thank you so much, Collin. All right, that's our CircuitPython edition. Show and tell. You know, we didn't know everybody was going to show CircuitPython projects, but we had a guess that there's enough CircuitPython activity going on every single week that a show and tell will probably just work out. So that's why we did a CircuitPython theme show and tell. Thank you, everybody who stopped by and showed projects. We're here every single week. Next week, we'll be moving show and tell back to 7:30 p.m.
Yep.
So mark your calendars. We'll update the images and more. But 7:30 every single week. So it'll be half an hour show. And then Ask an Engineer, as always, is 8 p.m. Stay tuned. A couple of minutes from now, we'll be doing Ask an Engineer, special CircuitPython edition with the CircuitPython team.
Yay. See you guys soon.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Happy CircuitPython Day.